We like to believe we are the masters of the household. We provide the food, we pay the vet bills, and we decide when it's time for a walk. But what if I told you that for the last 30,000 years, you've actually been the one being played? What if the creature sleeping at the foot of your bed isn't a dependent pet, but a psychological parasite that has effectively hacked your brain to ensure its own survival? When scientists look at the history, biology, and psychology of our relationship with dogs, they find a startling imbalance. We think they need us for survival, but the data suggests that in a world without humans, dogs would likely be just fine. We, on the other hand, might be in serious trouble. This is the mystery of why we need dogs far more than they actually need us. It's a story of evolutionary manipulation, shared brainwaves, and a biological contract that helped build human civilization itself. To understand how we became so dependent, we have to go back to the beginning, long before the first cities or farms. Between 15 and 30,000 years ago, while humans were still nomadic hunter-gatherers, a few brave wolves made a life-changing decision. They realized that hanging around human camps meant easy access to scrapped food and safety from other predators. Over generations, the friendliest of these wolves evolved into the first dogs. But this wasn't just a win for the dogs. For humans, this partnership was a competitive advantage unlike any other. Dogs could hear danger before we noticed it and smell prey from miles away. Some anthropologists argue that this alliance was so powerful, it allowed groups with dogs to outcompete every other group of humans on Earth. We didn't just adopt them, we used them to survive. They were our first high-tech biological sensors, providing eyes and ears in a dark, dangerous world where one mistake meant starvation. Today, we no longer need dogs to help us hunt mammoths, but our biology is still tethered to theirs in ways that are almost hard to leave. Consider the oxytocin feedback loop. When you look into your dog's eyes, your brain releases oxytocin, the same love hormone that allows a mother to bond with her newborn infant. But here's the kicker. Your dog's brain releases it too. This isn't just a metaphor for love. It is a literal neurological duet. Recent studies using EEG have shown that when we pet a dog and make eye contact, our brain activity actually synchronizes with theirs. Our neural oscillations begin to align in real time. This makes dogs a biological co-regulator for our stress levels. When they are present, our cortisol levels drop, our heart rates stabilize, and our blood pressure goes down. For many of us, the dog serves as a secure base, a psychological anchor that regulates our emotions in a way that other humans, with all their language and baggage, simply cannot do. The evidence for our dependency gets even more physical when you look at the health statistics. Adopting a dog has been shown to significantly lower the risk of cardiovascular disease, especially for people who live alone. It's not just the emotional comfort, it's the lifestyle coach effect. Millions of people meet their recommended physical activity levels only because their dog expects a walk. The dog doesn't know anything about heart health, it just wants to sniff a tree. Yet the human ends up living longer because of it. In the medical world, dogs are still the most advanced biological sensors ever discovered. A dog's nose contains up to 300 million scent receptors, compared to our measly 6 million. This allows them to perform jobs that our best technology still struggles with. We have dogs that can identify certain cancers, detect the early stages of Parkinson's disease, and warn their owners of a dangerously low blood sugar crash before the human even feels a single symptom. They are literally sensing the chemical shifts inside our bodies that we are blind to.
Beyond our physical health, dogs act as social catalysts that repair the very fabric of our communities. In a phenomenon some call the walking the dog effect, people are significantly more likely to start conversations with strangers when a dog is present. They lower our social barriers and reduce the cellular substrate of loneliness that plagues modern society. For the elderly, a dog is often the only daily reason to go outside and interact with the world, a benefit that no medication can replace.
But here is the twist that challenges our entire sense of superiority. We like to think dogs would be helpless without us, but history suggests otherwise. If humans vanished tomorrow, many pet breeds would struggle, but the species as a whole is remarkably capable of returning to an independent lifestyle. Across the globe, millions of village dogs already survive on the edges of society with zero direct human care. They are adaptable, athletic, and fully capable of outlasting us.
The reveal is that dogs may have actually hijacked our parental instincts. Through a process called neoteny, dogs retained juvenile traits like wide, innocent eyes and a puppy-like appearance well into adulthood. They even evolved specific facial muscles, muscles that wolves do not have, just to make puppy dog eyes that trigger a caregiving response in our brains. They have essentially engineered themselves to be psychological parasites that worm their way into our emotions, tricking us into treating them like family so we will provide them with food and shelter. This relationship is one of the most successful biological contracts in evolutionary history. While we think we are owning them, they are actually providing us with essential services, from lowering our blood pressure to managing our stress, that we can't get from smartphones, machines, or even other people. We have woven them so deeply into our lives that losing a pet can feel neurologically identical to losing a child. We aren't just roommates. We are two species that have spent 30,000 years shaping each other's brains. We live in a world where we are increasingly isolated, yet we have this ancient, furry connection that keeps us human. Dogs remind us to live in the moment, to use our senses, and to value loyalty above all else. They are the lifestyle medicine we didn't know we needed. They found a way to make themselves indispensable to the apex predator of the planet, and in doing so, they might have actually become the ones in charge. If you had to choose between never being allowed to own a dog again, or never being allowed to use a smartphone again, which one do you think would have a bigger impact on your long-term happiness? Let me know in the comments below, and tell me if you think your dog is a loyal friend or a master-level psychological hacker.